Alrighty, guys, welcome to Modos Mínimos, Minimal Modes. My name is Anthony. This is Jay. What we do here, we explore the variety of the simplicity in minimal house music. We're your hosts, and we got a super special guest here today with us today, Mr. Ray Mono. Welcome, Mr. Ray Mono.
Cheers.
Paul, right?
Yeah, it is. Yes.
Awesome.
Paul Raymond.
Paul Raymond.
That's where it comes from.
So, Paul is a dynamic DJ and music producer known for his infectious beats, an eclectic sound. Emerging from the underground electronic music, he quickly gained recognition for his ability to blend various genres, house, techno, and melodic dance music. He's got a career spanning several years. He's performed at clubs all over the world, captivating audiences with his high energy and innovative mixes. He's got releases on Soup, Moxie, Mad Tech, Piv, and he's fronting his own record label, huh? Mr. Monocult, right?
That's the label.
That's the label. Dope.
It was an event, yeah.
Yeah. So his passion and dedication to his craft has established him as a prominent figure in the electronic music landscape, and he continues to push boundaries with his new productions, creating tracks that resonate with fans, artists, everyone alike. Welcome to the show, dude.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That's the best intro I've ever had. So.
Nice.
Let's get more of that.
They're like, we need an intro. I'm like,
well, you did a good, yeah.
Thanks, dude.
I might have to take that off you.
Definitely. Well, dude, I guess kind of just to start off, just maybe tell us a little about yourself and your journey into electronic music.
Where do I start? I mean, go back to probably the first summer I ever did in Ibiza, which was 2000 and I'm going to say 7. Maybe even 6, no, 2007. Just went over with friends after the first summer. So it was the first year at uni. Changed life forever, to be honest. Just spent the whole summer out there, which they don't really do as much now. There's not that much of a culture of people going as much, just because Ibiza's changed quite a lot, as you might have heard. And that's so amazing to experience. I did about seven summers out there in a row. Again, people I met became like friends for life, also people who are now obviously in the industry like myself. And just coming back into, I was at Leeds Beckett Uni it's but one of the universities in Leeds, and Leeds itself is now still got itself back up there. At the time it was, I'm going to say, outside of London was the best city with events, so it was a big pull why I went there in the first place. I don't actually think I had any intention of being at uni. I wanted to do events. I didn't realise there was an events management course. If I'd actually looked at the syllable, I would have got something out of being at uni, but educationally, in a traditional sense. But I came back into Leeds after the first summer, and a massive influence was DC-10 at the time of Circle Loco every Monday. And like it would start very early in the day and be right through, and it'd be packed from the thing. It's different now with the people turning up later in the day, and just because I guess noise things and the rest, just everything it changed. So to experience it then gave me the idea of I want to bring like a Sunday sort of daytime event back to the city I was living in Leeds, because you had Friday, Saturday nights, they were packed out. Big events, big like back to basics, which still running. It was weekly for 25 years. I think you've got to think about that, like longest running club night ever. And that was up to that point weekly. It's older than that now, but it just hasn't been weekly since then. So being around the people who ran that, still very close friends. A guy called Dave Beer. Remember him saying to me, like, as soon as I'd put on the first event, because I'd said to him I was going to do a Sunday daytime party. We were in Berlin, first time I ever went there, just talking as we are now. And I didn't see him for a while, and then I came back, put on the first event. I remember I was playing, and all of a sudden I'm getting like tackled to the ground in the middle of playing. And I just looked around, and then it was Dave. He's laughing his head off, and he was just like, you did it, like, and like respect for like,
for actually
doing it, for like just not just being like full of hot air and just words, like so. From then, it just grew and grew, and that's what got me. I mean, like I say, that made me realise I knew I wanted to be a part of the industry and whatever, but that's how I got my foot in the door, doing with the events. And like I say, it was called Monocult. and we ran for 10 years. Yeah, pretty much monthly. Yeah, it was monthly, if not more. For 10 years, we got to the 10th year anniversary, and then everyone kind of went a different way. Like I moved out of Leeds and went to London, and other people in part of it were just at different points in their lives and stuff.
Right.
So wish we'd continued it as such, just because I think it would be over 20 years old now. I mean, we started before there's a favourite night in the UK, the Minute, big label called an event called Fuse. We actually started before that would have done, so that just shows that the time being around. But I mean, obviously they've gone through another thing to the point where they're at, and like, yeah, it's like got me where we were at, being a part of something like that. And again, bringing up with what you're doing with an event, it's the best way to get yourself into something. You know what I mean? We will talk about it more in a bit through, but that's like, whenever I see people doing something, starting something from scratch, like you're doing here in Oklahoma, something new. I mean, that's why I decided, like I say, to do a Sunday daytime party, because it was something that hadn't been done.
Right.
So it was like, my ethos was complement, not compete,
right.
You know, with the things going on around. And I think it put us in good stead in that. But yeah, so basically anytime I see people doing what you're doing, it reminds me of what I used to do. So I've got a lot of time for that, and that's why. Yeah, any advice you need, just hit me up.
That's good motivation for us. I really
like that for real. That is amazing.
Yeah. I have a question. So, how old were you when you first initially started thinking that you wanted to do this?
I was like 17 when I really got into the music. I mean, I mentioned it before. Like, what happened within life is like I lost two very close friends at 16. And one of the people who I was introduced to after that happened was through one of the guys. And basically, just not so just taking mind off it, but being around a group of friends who'd all been through that. And then they were all into house music, and they were a bit older. So then I started going out with them. And then it was like, right, actually, we're really like, right back just at that point. Yeah, I mean.
This was in Liverpool? Or?
Yeah, it was in Liverpool. And if I'm in all honesty, I'd say like if I could go back and that never happened, and I never got into house music, then
working that 9 to 5.
I'd do it, but I mean, like, just what happened to get me into it hadn't happened, like, you know what I mean? You go down, things happen in life, you go different things, you know what I mean? And that from because of what's happened and everything, but like, if I could go back and the things not happen, then yeah, obviously, because it was pretty devastating what it was, but it is what it is, you know what I mean? And they say, now. and yeah, unless you go through something like that, then you realise that like life, it's a cliche, it's too short or whatever, and you do something that's going to make you happy, you know what I mean? So once you find that, you've got to find a way of just putting all your energy and other things into making that, you know what I mean? Into creating something that you want to be a part of.
Well, yeah, especially for such a young age, that's some pretty shocking, life-changing.
Yeah,
events.
them things. Yeah, definitely. But like I say, so went to uni, 18, and then I started to DJ. Got my first pair of decks, which I still got the same 1210s.
Is that what you initially wanted to do, DJ, or you wanted to like make events?
No, well, I got into DJing. And then because I was DJing and I went to uni and I had my decks there and meeting people and going out, and then, like I said, after the end of the first year of uni, that's when I met a circle of friends from all over the country, and we decided going to go to Ibiza for the first year. So it was going to Ibiza, just having that idea of bringing back, the as I was mentioning, like the Sunday daytime parties type of thing. Well, say Sunday daytime party, but just a daytime culture to that, but that all came from going to Ibiza. So I started to DJ before I decided the events, but the events were something that, like I was mentioning to you before off camera, and that it's like the best way to get into this industry, because it gives you something to, number one, so you're playing regularly, you know what I mean? You can do your events in different cities, so potentially you could do like, one this week in one city, one next, once you branch out, and then you could have like a gig every week of your own event in different cities and things. A lot of people do that. It's very saturated in the UK now. It's the way that people make the name for themselves in UK and Europe. It's because they've got the brand behind them and other things. You know what I mean? So it's like it's the way forward basically, and that's why I went down that route, to be honest.
So you got your first set of decks. Do you remember what kind of decks they were?
Yeah, they were, like I said, they were 1210s, Mark IIIs. They got, if you check out 1210s, they got on the pitch, like a lot of them, they kind of like click at 0.
Okay.
And so if you're ever around that point, it's like, it just kind of falls into the fold. So it's sometimes you're like, it's just not as smooth. But these ones anyway, it's just like got continuous glide on them. They stopped making them anyway, so I don't know how much they're worth now, because those 1210s, like I say, they were that model of them had been stopped, but it was 1210s to start with. I've still got the same mixer as well. Actually, that definitely needs a service.
I was just gonna ask you, how long did you last before you changed your decks, or you?
I've still got the same 1210s. In fact, I sold my CDJs not too recently, just because CDJs are really easy to use. Let's be honest, and I just wanted to keep practicing with, just to keep my ears tuned,
right?
Just to know, because you can mix some digital to vinyl. So at the time, I had one CDJ. I did have 2, and then I sold, and then because of lockdowns, need to make some money, and that.
Yeah, for real.
But it's like. So at the minute I don't have any CDJs or anything like that. I've just got my mixer.
So let me ask you, dude. So when you approach DJing and mixing beat match, you're telling that CDJs are too easy. Can you kind of elaborate on that?
Because it's like this is just me. So
right.
but you get them flowing about. You get them going to places, right? And people are paying hard money for things to come see you and like that. If you're going to use CDJs. Someone like Trauma I look up to in that way, like he's using 3 or 4, might have a USB with some effects or acapellas or whatever in, but he's always then creating a loop of different size loops on each track. So he might have all 3 or 4 playing at the same time, different size loops. So he's creating something on the fly, and that's the creative side of it. But it's like if you're just using the 2, because you can see the BPM and other things. You can just stand there having a drink with someone and just dancing about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Giving all that, drink,
if you really
whatever.
Look at the industry, a lot of DJs is what they do. They just
I'm not obviously put that
not putting them down, right?
No, but and I'm
not hating on anybody.
No. But I'm just saying, for me, it's like
the art.
You can tell. When I used to go to these clubs again before going to when I was in Liverpool, there was a DJ there, first guy I see playing records. And I'd go to this club called G Bars every Friday, Saturday, and he was the first guy I seen playing records. And I'd just be standing there watching, over the thing, the concentration that goes in to playing vinyl.
It's an art. It's
really an art. And I love when you listen to people mixing that you can hear the kicks, and they're not when they're going out, but you can tell that they're touching the record to bring it and all that concentration. So instead, they're not able to dance about. And high five. They can't high five, take the finger from the crowd, drink, shot, do whatever they're doing behind the booth. They have to concentrate. They're there like Jack Dinn. I mean, someone I look up to immensely from my time in Leeds and getting his just desserts right now is a DJ called Tristan Laguna, and he's part of Dungeon Meat. In fact, I've got one of the records there, the new one from him and a guy called Sammy Brother. Tristan, I think I read that he's got 14,000 records, and you watch him play and he's just his energy behind the decks, but he's just from records and just being zoned in on that. And for me, that's when you're doing that and other things, that I think you're connected more to the music, because you're literally you're holding on to the deck. Your
attention is
your attention's on that. And to me, that's the thing that I really take notice of when I see. And I understand it's now cost of vinyl's doubled up than what it was.
There's a resurgence of vinyl, but then the price also just gone through the roof.
I mean, it wasn't cheap back then, but it's still now. So I'd say for people if they're just using digital, do what like some like Trauma does. You know what I mean? Like layering things up, having a hot section with like a USB with acapellas, and being able to create whole new things. I mean,
really, when it kind of started with the whole DJ with the scratching and all this, these guys were like,
hip-hop,
these guys were literally taking these turntables and just, using it as an instrument to create these whole loops.
That's it, yeah.
And so it's almost like getting back to that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I mean, that's on a different level of skill.
Right.
I can't do that. You know what I mean? Like, if I knew someone who could do that, I would have went to learn. But I'm very much like, I don't want to learn something wrong, so I need to kind of be shown the first time around to know that I'm kind of doing it right, so I'm not putting my attention to like wasting time with doing something wrong or learning a bad habit. So, I was never around anyone who could mix like scratch and like hip hop side of things, even though I actually grew up listening to hip hop more before getting solidly into house and techno or whatever. So, but like, yeah, I wouldn't mind if I could be taught that. It would just be something good.
It'd be a skill to
definitely,
learn,
yeah, for sure.
So house is the initial, I guess, can we call it EDM or electronic music that you first started listening?
Yeah, definitely. Well, again, I guess you call it house. I mean, wasn't the first. You've got like things like this wasn't the first, but things like trance and you've got like, if you talked about before, you got like drum and bass and that, but then you got like hard house and other things. And when I was younger, a lot of people were listening to, again, like, it's, if you want to look into it, it's like trance or hard house and stuff like that, especially in the area in Liverpool. There was a club there called Nation that I was lucky enough to go to before it closed, and that was like biggest club in Liverpool, like for a long time. It started off a thing called Cream, and that's like, again, if you look back into that was quite a bit harder, the music. Just the sound of the times. I mean, there's obviously techno and other things now, but this was huge then. I think it's like there are now other things that are of this time, at this moment in time, that are like all types of BPMs and styles.
Right.
But so I wouldn't say that house was, because for me, when I think of house, I think of like Chicago house and stuff like that, and more, like instrument based house and stuff.
Yeah.
And it wasn't that to start with, but again, I think you go through everything to find where you, what you really enjoy. And I think it took all them times and
all the
different styles and going to different places and different countries and different arenas and other things, and just experiencing everything. And then, like I say, when I got to Ibiza, the first time I walked into DC-10 in the daytime thing, it was just like, and we're talking this minimum music, like, that was when like Loco Dice was a warm-up DJ,
right.
Doing what he's on now. He was warming up. He had like Tanya Volcano still, like Queen of DC-10, like Queen of Ibiza, like literally, and the style and the rest. It was just a strip back for me when I caught about not true minimal. I'm not anything like that, but like that was what got me into it. So when you're mentioning, which I appreciate, when you're saying like with the style of music and other things. That's why with my production styles that I went down the route that I did do, because that's kind of where my heart was at anyway with the music. But now what's kind of classed as minimal isn't so much as minimal in the sense it is for minimal for now. And I'm not saying that this stuff was so stripped back that it was literally just little, one little sound you needed to be ketted up to listen to that shit, you know what I mean? And that wasn't like that, but it's just that was that's the style and the sound that made that club worldwide.
What it is, yeah.
And it's very rarely kind of played there now. I mean, big respect for the Solid Grooves guys for giving a platform to all styles of artists in their events. But what I mean is there's not an event in a club in Ibiza right now that's solely
like
that's solely that
style.
Step back minimal style, just because I think the promoters or the club owners don't think they're probably. I don't know what the thing is, but it's like it's not what it was in that sense. Where it pushed in them places. I think actually the reason why a friend was telling me there's one of the best small clubs that was in Ibiza is called Underground, that just got shut down the other week or a month or so ago, and that's like a 200 capacity venue, and it's a place for people just to go and get, you know, no frills, just get in and like enjoy the music. And these clubs in Ibiza now, they are. I think the club, some of the club owners in Ibiza are shutting down everything else that they're not, you know, with the backing of like government and police, and they're trying to turn it into the Marbella or a thing like with just like this whole champagne culture.
Right.
And all these. It's all about the money now. It's all like sitting the thing, and everyone. It's becoming like I'm not dissing the thing, but when you see,
we don't hate here. We
Yeah,
just discuss.
But I just mean when you see the videos.
From back then to
compared to now,
yeah,
and to that, which is one just very recently, of like everyone was just like that, and everyone wants the shows and the big things behind instead of like listening to the music.
Really is what I wanted to take this conversation.
That was never like that back when I was in Ibiza and stuff, and now it's like, well, people are willing to pay for a show. That's why they want to stand and watch something behind. Well,
it seems like the generation, the newer generation.
That's not the music, then, is it? The reason why they're holding the cameras is because, in all honesty, the music's boring in the sense that it's not making them dance.
Right.
So they're filming the show behind it, but so what's made them bring to it is like the fact that there's a projection. Some visuals and stuff, which is like go to a cinema if you want to see that.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like go to a club, get your head down, dance. So that's my own opinion to it. Like I don't go to that stuff myself, but like I think Ibiza is becoming a little bit like that, and seeing the smaller things shut down. I mean, you wouldn't see the DJs that you're liking, and I see the music that you listen to playing with all that shit
that
behind
visual,
them.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not about that. Like so, well, at the minute it's not.
There's kind of been a reaction towards that as well. You know, a lot of clubs now are kind of doing the no phone.
Yeah, well, it's good to see that they're actually doing that, but it was like that back then. But the funny thing is, a lot of the people who were doing this thing saying no phone, their career is where it is because of because they had the thing being seen. So okay, they can say that now, but to be honest, like they were the ones who because look, there wasn't smartphones like they are now when I was. Still the old Nokias that, you know, the battery still be alive. From now I still haven't charged it. It's probably still working from about 20 years ago. But we didn't have that. And then obviously there was and throughout. But then when we were talking just earlier about social media and the impact of that becoming so important. But that's all because of the development of smartphones and other things. So what I'm saying is, it's great to see that the people doing that. I mean, another good thing is when they stick a sticker on the back, of the phone, you have to cover the camera a bit. So you know what I mean. Or I've seen some clubs where you go in and you put the phone in like a bag and that zipper and all that. And, well. Yeah, and again, good idea. But if anything happened to the people's belongings and then they start, going on a tangent here, but it's good to see anyway that they're stopping phones. I mean, there are some clubs I've played at that have that culture throughout. There's one called Friedrichsburg in Zurich, and that the policy there is, you know, no phones and that. You know what I mean? Like, you know, in or at any point, and that. And it's again small club, like an institution and very well known around the world. Even in Berlin has a big thing like that. I played a club called Renate the other month, and that's exactly the same. Like, you know, nothing inside and stuff, very strict on that, which again is great. And the only downside is, as the artist, is you don't get that kind of content to show, which again, it shouldn't be, but it's become that important. So there's a balance, that there's a good and a bad right now, because for artists who are still trying to break through, they need that footage. So now, but the ones who made it, now they're saying, well, we don't need it now.
Footage is extra, yeah.
Yeah, but they don't need it now. So they've got the luxury to say, no cameras at my events.
Now we reject it. Or
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I was actually wanting to talk about a little bit about production, because, you know, you're staying here, the studio and stuff. So what's the production process for you?
Well, it's when we were talking before, like it's all inbox. I've got hardware and other things, not as much as I did. Again, like I mentioned, having to sell stuff in lockdowns and that. But
you make some banger tracks, dude.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So.
I appreciate that. Thank you. For me, it's like, I mean, I've always used Ableton. That's the thing. now while I'm traveling, it's kind of been a blessing that I kind of streamlined what I was using, because it means like I'm get more focused on like having a kind of workflow that works, because sometimes I was getting caught up in having too many things and going, it really slowing me down. But I can go through stages where I'm prolific and I'm in the studio every day for months and months and months. When I was setting up the label, I was in for about 8. I actually stopped gigging for 6 months on purpose, because I was like, right, I want to back up as much music as I can to be coming out. Because I had the experience of labels asking me for music themselves, not me asking them. They are asking me, taking the tracks, being like that, and then after 2 years never releasing them. But then I'm asking me, and it really kind of slowed my momentum down at the time. So that's why, again, we mentioned before, if you're running events, if you set up a label, that's what you want to be doing. It gives you the full control of having when your music's released, so you can keep that momentum. That's the reason why I started my label, was because of that happening. So yeah, like during that period, I was solely focused on making music. The last few months, I won't lie, I think I've been in the studio like once, maximum twice a week at a time, because of like having to do other things within the industry of like, just a bit of everything, just that. So in all honesty, I feel even getting to the studio, if I'm not in there all the time, it's kind of like muscle memory. You know, it's there, but it's like I'm always looking and learning like different ways of doing things to keep things fresh. But again, that can slow it down, because if you've got something that works, then kind of like stick with it. You know what I mean? Develop it, but stick with it. Like,
would you say that that's a good process for beginners to follow? Would you say it's better to become first
jump
DJ,
in the box?
Do you know, right now it's different. Again, I'm going to show my age here, but it's different of like when I started, because people used to say to me, I'd ask them like how long does it take until you're comfortable with the music that you're making? Do you want to release it? Excuse me. And people would say, let's say 4 or 5 years of producing. Now you've got that much content now showing, because people had to make money during it because they weren't gigging in the lockdown, so a lot of these websites sprung up. So you never had that. I mean, I used to get in the studio with friends to learn.
Same.
Good friends, like friends like my friend Bernsky, people like that. I'd go and I'd literally just sit and watch and learn and take away from that. Now that can be done obviously because of the website things, but in a much probably actually a better way, because you can start, pause with rhymes like that. But it means that it's made everything learn. Obviously, there's a lot more people doing it because it's easier to learn.
It's more accessible.
Easier to learn, live faster.
Right.
I mean, I've had kids come up to me being like, "Oh, I must be doing something wrong. I've not been signed." I'm like, "Well, how long have you been producing?" They're like, "A year." I'm like, "It's not that fast, you know." But like, it didn't like. So you expect it like that. But again, that's probably the way the culture's become. Everyone wants it like that. And I think what's happened is people believe it's that happened because there are some
breakthroughs for some people that will create a beat or something that will hit and then become catchy. And
no, there is that, like there is, but I think even like say before the lockdowns, there was not people weren't breaking through in like 2 years' time. You know what I mean? Like if like people, my friends I knew, it took like 6, 7, 8 years, and then that's when like they're like gigging, and now like foot's in the door, they're on that circuit, you know, and they're doing that. Or I think because of socials and other things, and the things are coming viral or whatever, and stuff like that, it's like it's just basically with that people get that route through. It's like it's a lot faster to it, but not everyone can like have that happen with them.
Not everybody has the same luck to be able to.
Yeah, well, it's like I just think that people expect things a lot faster and that now, but I think for anyone getting into it should realise that like that's not necessarily not necessarily actually organic how it's happened. There's a bit of a thing in the process and things, but behind that is it's maybe I'm just going to say not as organic, as how things was. So if people comparing themselves, and everyone does it, I compare myself, I see something.
You can't help it, really.
Yeah, can't help it. But what my point is to say, like, unless you actually know what's going on behind the scenes, then it's like, well, actually, you probably wouldn't like be not disheartened of things that hadn't happened. It's like, because it's people have got some things like machines and that behind them, and the rest, and it's like, can focus solely on that. Other people might have to, work a job, do a thing, split the time, do their own contacting people, do their own all the side of the whatever you think. You can't solely just be on music. Some people can't. So I just think that, like, when you talk about the processes of things and that, I think like it's more accessible now, easier and stuff to learn. So me saying how I was doing it wasn't like it is now. Like the learning process, like it was all like figuring out yourself, and then that kind of created your sound. And like one of the biggest compliments I've ever had was, I mention a name, but someone who I made music with recently in the lockdowns and bought their records for years and years, and they said to me, they were like, well, you're one of the few people who actually I can tell when it's one of your tracks. And that's come from literally just like kind of like trial and error, learning what I'm doing without not having the thing of like copying a blueprint,
right?
And I think that now like all that is there. So my advice to anyone using them is then take a bit from all different things. Don't just use like the one like example of how an artist does it. Go, well, I like how this guy does
take
drums.
The good out of everybody.
Because I like this guy's perk, I like this guy's bass, I like this guy's there. Bring it together, make your own. You know what I mean? Because then that will make you stand out. You know what I mean? Because like I think there's a vast array of amazing music. The quality of the music's gone up right through the roof because of all the
it's just so accessible now.
Yeah. So the quality has gone through the roof. But then there's a flip side to that, is you could say that, well, a lot of people are sounding the same, and there's more people doing it, so it's like chances of things to make yourself stand out, I guess. And again, you could say it's even harder now to do that. So as much as I'm sitting there going, well, it took me 6 years to learn what people are learning in a year. Like now, it's like, well, more people are doing it. So for anyone to break through with this amount of competition, and I'll tip my hat to them,
right.
Definitely. So.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, because you're going on a tour right now, right?
Yeah.
So what do you got coming up? Maybe kind of share with everybody what your plans are, and what tell us what you're thinking on this tour. What's the vibe you bring in? And
well, we'll have to see. I don't when I
What are your expectations? This is
expectations. Night. Like everywhere I've ever gone and other things, like I'm blessed to be like meeting amazing people, and going to play at great parties. And I actually like the fact mentioning like this is like first time of something for what yourselves are doing here in Oklahoma. So to be asked is like, trust me, it's an honor, blessing. And
we're honored.
Yeah, we're happy to have you, dude. Where's this go?
I had again, I won't mention the name, but the first time I played in San Diego, and it was the first time they booked an international artist, and the next time they had like drama and people like that, and seeing the growth from thingy, and it was like, so I feel like, I'm getting a lot of love here in the States. So I'm like, I love coming here, I want to come here as often as I can. So again, Oklahoma, here with you guys, I've never been to Oklahoma before, so super excited for that. And then obviously we all head out to New York, and you'd think the one city I've never been to, whether it was just to travel or anything, is New York. So that's a big tick off the list, and that's because of you guys, like, so that would be great to spend a few days there with you. So I'm looking forward to that. And then it's back over to the West Coast. Got a gig in LA, play there quite a lot. Over in LA quite a lot. That's like kind of like a home away from home when I do sometimes travel to the States. Like I'll plot up there with guys who booked me from a while ago there, and then finish off in San Diego with a party called Handpicked by a guy called Raman. It's me and a Romanian DJ called M-High playing. So I'm super stoked, super buzzed to be on that. And I've actually got an EP coming out on that label for Handpicked. So that's the next thing that's out musically for me.
Nice.
And yeah, I've got. Were you asking about what as well with what I've got coming up musically? Or?
Yeah, musically.
Yeah. Well, that EP is in the works. I mean, my tracks are finished. The remixes are in the works, so that should be out soon. There's a, if you're buying records, there's a label called Pleasure Zone, which is a German label. Got an EP coming out on that. My own label. I'm branching out. I say branching out. I'm releasing a lot of other people's music. You know, I was probably doing like 2 of mine and someone else's EP, nice. And then like that, because I was to build. For, like I say, the reason why was to keep my name out there musically, you know, so I could keep the releases churning out. Like that's like I mentioned earlier, the reason why I started the label. But now, as it's grown a little bit, and I'm obviously releasing with other labels, I've got a few artists doing work on that, and I'm doing if I can't throw a remix of my own on these EPs. That's mainly based digital. There's a few bits coming like analog vinyl, and I'm just making. After this tour, it's going to be solely back into the studio for a bit. I've got tours in South America starting from January. Would have been December, but decided to move it to January so I can spend Christmas and that with family. Nice. And stuff.
So important, yeah.
Yeah, definitely, especially on the road quite a bit. So I'll be in South America a few times. Let you know when it's Colombia and that. Like I'm starting the works.
How was that? How was that playing in Colombia?
Yeah, I love it again.
We're all Colombian here.
Yeah, I know that. I see the flag. It's just me.
Family,
Family.
Yeah. I'll be telling more stories off the mic.
Off the mic, yeah.
Off the mic, definitely. But like that's the start. Yeah. Do a little side podcast and things. You got to subscribe to that one or something.
Yeah, something more private. Where
yeah. But I mean, when I'm over in Colombia, it's like main place. I played Bogota twice, and the main place, Medellin. Places that I've never been that I really want to get in this time around is like Cali, Cartagena, and places. But
aside from Colombia, have you played in other countries?
All over, literally. I don't think there's a country I've not played off the top of my head. No, Venezuela I've not played. I'd love to play there. I've not played there. Some Central American countries I've not played yet. Obviously Mexico I have. Places like Guatemala, Costa Rica I've not played yet.
Like going to all these different countries, dude. How do you like engage or energize the crowds? Is it like you cater to each one, or what's the vibe?
South America, like the energy's there. The energy's there in the UK. I think it's again, you go into certain events, there are not like certain crowds, like we could say we talk within the UK, Europe, it's like there were I'll be easy how I say this, like, but like a lot of events could be like people just want banger after banger.
Right.
And for me, I'm going to say that's not DJing. It's like if you put in a track with the same energy after same energy after same energy, like you could mix any of them in any order from the beginning. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, and it kind of makes people walk off the dance floor because there's like not wearing them out, but it's like nothing's kind of changing. So, like, but again, the UK crowd can sometimes be like, you know, if you start playing a bit more down tempo, then they're like it clears the floor, you know. So people are like feel kind of pressured to play a certain style. Anytime I played here, Europe or South America, I could play what I want, and everyone's engaged and the energy's right there. People are dancing without any extra stimulants, you know what I mean? Like they're there for just for not
about the music, you know.
Yeah, I mean it is everywhere. I just think that some people, or maybe it's some DJs, just try and outdo each other. You know, there's no thing of a warm up. Like people just come on after another, and then it's like, right, I'm gonna just try and up the ante in the level, and that when really, yeah, I think at some events it could be maybe some DJs feel like you have to. You have to lift if the energy's got to a certain level so early on, you're not gonna be the one to bring it down. You know, again, that's another discussion of warm up and other things, because I myself love it. but I can understand why warm-up's not respected or anything right now, but if you're known as the warm-up DJ, you're always playing early. Then again, we were talking about the importance of content.
Right.
Now, if you're playing to an empty dance floor while it's getting busy, then you've got kind of nothing to show. It looks like you're playing to no one.
Right.
So people like coming on, they don't think that they want to be the warm-up DJ, and maybe even financially, it's like, well, the warm-up DJ is not going to get paid as much as the headliner. So straight off the bat, people are like, well, I want to be the headliner.
Yeah.
So then everyone's the headliner and that. So that's maybe, in my opinion, lost a little bit on the newer generation. But again, it's because, because of the reasons I've just said is why I think that is. So
well, that gives me a good feeling because I'm the warmer today, so I'm gonna
make warm-up's the best.
Warm-up is fire.
Yeah. Literally,
you set the whole vibe. You kind of started off. You
can
take it anywhere from there.
Literally, if I could pick, things I'd be, I'd warm up, like not more, but I'd never shy away from it, right. and I like to be able to. So it's like, it's just that catch-22 thing, like you say, of people want their careers to grow and other things, then they need to have that impression that they're, big room DJs and stuff like that.
It's funny because you mentioned that, because it's something I've kind of noticed in like some electronic scenes in here specifically. Because like there was a big party here, I think it was called Robotic something. Don't quote me, but it's dubstep is really big here, right? And so we're trying to bring something else into the scene. And when I see at these dubstep shows exactly what you were saying, just everybody just wants to like headbang and they just want the energy out of 10, and they don't understand the nuance of a curated party of like bringing that energy and just vibing and flowing.
From what I mean, I don't know too much of dubstep. I've got so it's a genre that, like I say, went through a bit of everything, and then maybe at the time
there's some good stuff. Actually,
yeah, no, 100%. But I think from what I can remember, as such, is like the energy is quite high. Anyway, so it's like maybe there's not, when it comes to the selection of what's out there, like you've got warm-up stuff that for me, warm-up was like, but now I look at a headliner used to be like playing at like 122, 124, now that's like what you class probably like warm-up, like sort of speed and stuff like that now, but that was like what people would be like headlining that, so it was even slower back when I was a kid and that, but
it's a couple years ago.
Yeah, that's that. But
no worries about the kid. We're
all
kids, same level here.
I just turned 21.
No, I'm Alex. I'm joking with that, but like I say, maybe it's just because, and again, don't quote me on it, but like I guess the impression I get is maybe like most of the productions are at a higher energy level, so like that, if you're playing at the lower energy style of things, it's still pretty intense. When I say energy-wise, maybe that's why. Again, I'd have to look into it a bit more for more of an understanding of that subculture, subgenre of electronic music. But I could imagine that was why. But yeah.
I mean, it's dope though, and like us here being in Oklahoma, because I like Oklahoma. It's really nice. It's like I tell you, you get a nice place. It's chill,
yeah, definitely.
Now there's downsides, of course. There's a smaller electronic music community, or artists don't kind of fly over it kind of at the time.
Well, it will do. Trust me, they will do. Like, and you guys at the forefront now. I was mentioning before doing that. So giving it however many years down the line, as the hate the word the scene, but as it grows,
exactly.
Like you'd be at the pinnacle of that. Like people know that you guys were like.
Here,
people all be coming up people be coming up to you like they used to be coming up to me and be like, oh, I want to start an event, got any advice, this and that. I remember, again, not mentioning names, but events that have become like big and still big now, used to be the same, come up to me, used to come to my events and that, and like I always had time to speak and give them, any sort of props or any advice and that, and I'm sure it'd be happening the same as your thing, as it grows and grows. And you say it's like not such a big city, but I think we were mentioning before, it's like
it's growing. It's got a future.
Compared to the UK, like I say, it's probably like the size of Manchester, I'm guessing.
Gotcha.
Just some like, we're only just starting getting taller buildings, so that thing's in Manchester. Well, I live in Manchester at the minute, from Liverpool originally, but like London's the only thing that's like you could probably fit every other city in the UK inside London.
Gotcha.
Like I think East London's probably Manchester's probably the size of East London.
Okay.
And things, and that's talking about That's not talking about the
whole
boroughs.
London, yeah.
Yeah, with like all the sub. We were talking before about suburb areas, and that. So, the scale of things, what the potential is for what you guys are doing, the fact because you've got such the demographic and the population there. It's just making them they're coming to the thing, and as soon as they come to an event, I guarantee soon someone walk in and hear the music, like they might never have heard it before, but they're going,
hey, this is
different.
new.
This
is different.
And I guarantee, again, bringing up my experience of running events, but people might not even know, and I guess probably even 70-80% of the times booking people wouldn't have heard of. And it's probably much the same amount of people coming like to the event tonight. They're coming because you're friends of you guys and things, and to that.
Right.
So it's the first time they're seeing me play as such. But as soon as they go, they're gonna have such a good time. Promise you that. And then like they're gonna go back, and then next time they're gonna be like, well, I had such a great time going to that party. I want to go again, and even if I don't know who's playing.
Yeah.
And that's when you organically, I keep using that word, but you build a bond and a trust with the people coming to the party, because they don't know who's playing, but they're like, well, these guys know their shit.
Creating a community.
They know the shit with the music, like they're shit. I'm gonna go down and learn, let's hear something, and
that I haven't seen or heard
and then they'll
before.
go away from that and be like, oh, I want to hear that in the week, or this and that, things in the ground, and they'll word of mouth. And again, the reason why I bring that up is the amount of people in cities here in the States. That word of mouth will spread like fucking wildfire, compared to being in like what we call a small city in the UK is like fucking probably about 50 times smaller than like here, or even more. So you've got it's all there for you. So all the chips are there on the table for you fellas.
We're excited, man.
I had to say that fly through Vegas, like, and luckily I didn't miss that flight coming through. I would have spent all my fucking money on one night. If I had to that, because
I told Christian, I was telling Mateo that we were ready with a plan B.
Yeah, I know you said when you mentioned that. Yeah, in fact, I was in the queue. Going on a side story. I was in the queue. And there was a girl there, she was talking to someone, she was like, I'm on this flight at 7:30, flying through to Dallas and that, and I was like, that's got to be my flight. And if she hadn't have said that, as we speak to someone, I was like, oh, you're on that same flight. And then together we were like, right, started just saying to people who were in the next row, like, look, we've got a flight, we've got to be on the flight in an hour, could we come through? And like, if anyone had told me to fuck off, I would have told them to fuck off right back, because I would not say to someone, if I had all the time to take a flight and someone was going to miss the flight, I'd be like, go ahead. So anyone who wouldn't be like that, don't know what's going on in their life, but that's not good energy to basically, to give anyone shit for trying to get through.
To try to make it.
Yeah, I've had that actually happen in the past, but my point is, it didn't happen this time, which was, so as soon as we went straight through, it was like, phew, sweet. But yeah, I was actually saying to some people in the queue, I was like, well, look, if I miss this flight, I'm obviously not that I can think of worse places to be stuck than Vegas, but yeah, I'm gonna literally just fucking spend all my money. So yeah,
everything on black, dude.
Yeah, definitely.
So do you have a perspective or an idea of what you think it's gonna be like tonight? How did you like your music selection for tonight? Is there anything that you want to like give us?
Preview,
like
maybe?
A preview or anything?
Get to the record back there.
Yeah, maybe recommend a little record for everybody. Something you've been playing.
Good record bag. It's called.
I thought that was your backpack when I saw it, dude. And then
you can fit records in, and then it zips down. I'll put this. Sorry, it zips down from that side. It's called Clipped. Actually, anyone wants to check them out. A little bit pricey, but they're literally you'll get through. Like, it's not like carrying a record bag, it's a lot more comfortable, it fits a lot of clothes in and that. So that's, hopefully I get 50% off my next one.
I was going to say that, if Clip heard that, Raymond got you going around, putting your name out there.
Yeah, but I picked up a few records before it came out. I just picked the top two actually up here, I was just listening through before. Similar style of artists and other things, and I was mentioned before, my friend Tristan Acuna and brother Sammy, they're under together. They produce and DJ under Dungeon Meat, and this label is like it's called Dungeon Meat. This is a VA, two different vinyl on each. Got artists like
You mind showing it to the...
Yeah, the artwork on these is sick, by the way.
Yeah.
The artwork on that is sick. It's very, you can tell it's one of those, like with the...
Is this unreleased or...?
No, this is only just came out. It's not digital at the moment that I know. It's, but like, this is a VA, so it's got artists like Sweely, High, who I'm, like Timmy P on that one, Boss Priester, who's a really, really fucking serious producer, very nice guy too, from Rotterdam, if I'm right, in Holland.
And you met them before?
Yeah, I've met that guy before. Things, but I mean, like this EP, is it EP? I call it. Yeah, it's a VA actually, not an EP, because it's a various artist. Anything off this label's cool. It's really influenced with like UK sort of sound, with like garagey sort of like hats and very kind of bass driven sort of music. Okay. But like that's really just it's cool music, as I can say. It's stuff that it does catch the ear. And this other one, again, an artist who's been on them labels, called Azad, and this is Slab's EP. Again, at the minute, it's called The Beat, this EP, but I think that's not out digitally yet. So that's why I thought I'd bring over Sneeze.
Are we getting a sneak peek then tonight?
It's a sneak peek, baby.
Oh no, definitely, yeah. I mean, I was playing. Yeah, go for it. Yeah. I was playing some of them just before, just to refresh my mind, because I was saying to you that I'm very more visual than the names.
Yeah.
So I was like, sometimes when it comes to records, I'll get like a pencil or a thing and just put a little star by the name of a record,
same,
just because I need to remember. Not that don't remember, but I just needed to jog my memory a little bit, because I actually haven't played these. These arrived the morning I was leaving.
Oh really?
Yeah. So I managed to get them.
Nice.
Get them in. So I thought, I'm looking forward to giving them a spin, like, for sure.
Well, dude, let's see. We've covered so much ground, dude. You've been super awesome. Hopefully, we've treated you well here.
Yeah, no, definitely. You have to. We'll see.
We're definitely
trying. So far, yeah.
So far, so good. So
I'm super excited for tonight, by the way, like I mentioned. So yeah, when you mention about anything style-wise, it comes down to what is in front. I never go into a gig and prepare and be like, right, I've got like 20 tracks for this gig. I'm playing that, and never ever like that. It's I kind of arrange things, not arrange, but I kind of play this kind of in my mind from like energy of things. But then there might be like 500 tracks in them playlists, you know what I mean? So it's like I'm never like...
you very much improvise at the moment.
Literally, it keeps it. I could never, I mean, I've seen DJs playing the same set every time you see them play. It's like, I don't think I ever see it really happening now, but it used to happen quite a lot in the past. And I just never understood how someone could do that.
I kind of wanted to ask you about that. Do you think it's... let me see how I can rephrase this question. There's more skill into going into a set improvised or pre,
sure.
Like,
I mean,
set as far as what you want to play?
A pre-set is a live set, and if you're doing a live set, it's usually your own music. So again, that's to play a whole thing of your own productions and do it live. That's, you know,
it's an art.
It's such an art. I mean, I've not done that yet. I've probably got enough music too, but I've never looked into doing it. Maybe one day. But I say, if someone's doing a live set, and that's my definition of, not mine, but it's the way I see a live set when you're playing your own music, then that's like, that's a whole different art from DJing as such. Because obviously DJing, you're playing other people's records. So I think when someone's going into DJ, then they should really just be... Maybe they have a few tracks that, you know, that they know are going to go down, and, you know, with certain points, you know, they know you can put this on if they think they need to get the dance floor back on, and stuff like that. But other than that, like, I like when I listen back to my sets that I've not gone and played a lot of other things. Might be an EP I like, so maybe I'm playing a different track off the EPs, but I'm not playing the same ones and other things, you know.
Yeah.
And that, so.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Nice.
Well, I can say that, but you didn't name my last set. I could play the same one. Like, trust me, I'm not going to.
We won't tell, dude.
No, trust me, I'm not. Definitely not doing that. Like, definitely not. Right. Spent too much on records to not fucking play them.
Definitely.
So that's that.
And what what I love is the crate digging aspect of it, because sometimes you know, getting the new records is a little pricey, but sometimes if you, like, I'm kind of excited for New York because I want to go to some of these record stores, dude.
Yeah,
and just dig and see what I can find, man.
Mate, that's I actually normally, when I do buy records, buy ones that are not getting pressed anymore. So like, I guess I'm going to call it like early 2000 tech house, UK tech house style.
Right.
But you can go through digging. A bit of advice for people, like say you go through on Instagram, you see people playing and you're saving things into like, you know, tracks you might like, or, you know, if you hear something, but then you're looking through the comments to find. But when you find the ID in that and you're like, well, that track was made in early 2000s and it's like, it's not pressed anymore, you can't find it digitally or whatever, so you put it in your wish list in Discogs, and then it's worth, you might be able to get it for £2 or $2, or it might be $100, you know, that. But it's like, that's what's going to make your record selection and everything stand out. Having records that aren't as much. I'll buy records to labels and with my mates run and music that I really, really like and support. And I will buy once a month. I'll have my wish list off. I use a website called Juno in the UK.
Oh,
and then I'll buy it all at once because it's cheaper on the postage instead of buying that, you know, for every record individually. But the main thing is like finding the music. If I'm digging, like you say, going to record stores, and they might have just had someone where they're buying a selection of records off someone, so there's, you know, you could spend forever just looking through and finding, and you've got to be there on point, because like I see there's a place in London called Vinyl Palace, and I see on their posts, and if I lived in London, I'd have no money left, but like you see people delivering boxes and boxes records, and then they put up a post like, this has come in, or this, and some of these records are like, again, they're the originals, and the thing, and like you can just see by the comments that all the vinyl DJs are like, would be queuing up through the door, you know, like fighting each other for that shit, just to make their records and that. So I'm excited for the fact we're going to go to a record store in New York, because that's going to I can imagine that if it's a record store in New York, it's going to have some clout behind. It's going to be there goes my fee. No, you guys be cooking me pizza and that, and the things to spend.
We'll get some more food later too. There's good spots.
No, I was saying I'll spend all my money on the thing, and then we can rip them on the fucking thingy and that, and I'll trade for food, fucking the tracks I bought, So
definitely. Well, I think we're coming to the end of this episode.
Yeah, dude, I think it's pretty much a wrap right now. I mean, where you know, for the viewers, where can they find you, or, you know, how do they follow you?
Well, main thing, Instagram. So if you just type Ray_Mono MONO_music. I'm not on TikTok yet, but I heard it's something to be getting onto. So
I heard it's where all the kids are, dude.
And that, I think, well, to be fair, like I think getting, when it comes to followers and other things, from clicking things on Instagram, politically thingied and that, like I think I might have been shadow banned a little bit for other things than the rest, so I need to get on TikTok just to get the followers flooding back in, because of that. But no,
we're gonna see you dancing on TikTok, or?
It might happen, dude. You gotta get that content, bro.
Start. No, like, apparently there's a thing you can link it all and this and that. Like, I'm not, again, savvy on it, but
neither am I, dude.
If it all just did, because it's just to do that. And
like I said, we're all in the same age group.
I had Instagram 5 years ago. I cut it off for like 4 years. Got back on, and I was like, "What? Where am I, dude? Like, what the hell is this thing, dude?"
Yeah, used to use Facebook a lot, but again, that's the thing. It's not so much used now. It's more like you've got a fat cap on you about your friends and that. Good place to know when it's your friend's birthday. That's about it.
That's how I get.
So if I've missed any of my friend's birthday recently, it's because I'm not using Facebook as much as I ever done. Like, so I used to literally just be like, just click on it, be like, right, 10 of my friend's birthday on this day, hit them all up. So I haven't forgot about you, mate. Mates, girls and girls.
Well, Paul, thanks, dude, for your time, sharing everything, dude, with us.
I enjoyed that. Like, I have not done a podcast since, again, during the lockdowns, and when I did that, it was over a Zoom thing. So
cool, man. I hope the podcast was organic.
No, it was.
We like organic here, so saying that word, you don't want to use it, but
no, definitely, definitely.
Paul's been great.
I did say about not having a question about what my favourite track is, because I told you I don't remember the name, so it would have been like this one.
You go look for that one.
Yeah.
No, definitely wanted to keep it organic. Definitely want you to have a great vibe, have a good time.
We're vibing, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, again, check out Ray Mono, guys. For his music, we'll be playing tonight in Oklahoma City,
Get yourself down.
New York. Yeah. We're coming for you too.
Yeah.
And don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us and Mr. Paul, guys. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you, guys.
It's a wrap.
Nice one, fellas. Appreciate that.